Make the ground shake.
Hello everyone and welcome to another tank review. This time we are looking at the TR-6 Russian medium tank, the T-34-85. The T-34-85 is a great combination of armor and maneuverability, and the gun is in a sweet spot between DPM and alpha damage. When we look into the armor, we can see that the hull is a bag of mixed emotion. I mean, the lower plate is certainly not a weak spot. It's at 45 degrees and it's very well angled, so it's at an anti-zones. This zone at 90 is also pretty good, but the upper part of the hull is only 90 millimeters. Sorry, it's only 45 millimeters, and that means that it can rarely bounce anything. Even tier 5s will not have problem penetrating this. The good thing about the hull is that the same 45 millimeters of penetration goes through to the sides as well, which means that this tank can side scrape quite a bit, unlike the other tier 6 mediums. As you can see, it's even this sort of angles are at some ricochet zones, and if you shoot at the track seat, it gets around 150, which is very good. The engine deck is a very annoying weak spot. I have been penetrated by tanks there, and it's super annoying when you get shot by RT. When we get to the turret, it's reasonably well armored. I mean, this part, it's to the front, it's all at 90 millimeters, and that means that when you have such a zone here, like its mantlet and the armor itself, you get up to 200, which is insane. But you have zones like this only at 90. But this turret is also quite sloped at the sides, which means that these zones right here are at around C200 and even autobahn zones. This turret ring is quite prominent and it can be easily penetrated, and it will jam your turret. If you use your gun depression to its fullest, you will see that this turret hatch is not that big, so it's very hard to hit. But if you are facing somebody even in that sort of angle, at this sort of an angle, you will see that it can be shot quite easily. So try to avoid staying still. If we compare it to its Russian cousin, since it's probably its main rival, we can see that this thing outclasses it in penetration by quite a lot, and the alpha is even higher at 180 compared to the Russian gun to the Chinese gun, sorry, at 160. The DPM is worse. It's marginal, but it's worse, and that is to be expected, since this gun hits harder and has a higher penetration value. The rate of fire is obviously worse. The ammo at 48 is not the best, but I have never had any issues with it. The view range at 360 is quite average at the tier. It is certainly not the best, it's average. The command values are reasonably good for its bulky size. When we look into the gun stats, we can see that this gun is even more accurate than the Type 58's one, and they have the same aim time at 2.3 seconds. The soft stats are even better on this tank, which is quite surprising. And the biggest drawback of the Type 58 is gun depression. Here it is okay at -7, whereas the Type 58 gets only -5, which is super annoying at this lower tier. The traverse of the tank and its turret are both worse than on the types, but I haven't had any issues with it. The power to weight is better on this tank, but its terrain resistance is worse, so they are quite similar in mobility, but this tank is faster, whereas the type is more maneuverable in place. The forward speed at 54 is reasonable. It could have been better, but it's not bad. And its health pool of 720 is slightly above average in the tier, but it's worse than the Type 58. When I think we are done with this tank review in the garage, and let's get into the game. So let's go with the game. It's a standard battle on El Haluf. I am in a top tier matchup, and when we look into the composition of my team, you can see that they are not it is not formed of very strong players, so I will have to carry this pretty hard. The position I am about to use is a great starting position for any tier, not just for this lower tier matchup, as long as you have a reasonable gun depression. The T-34-85 with its 7 degrees of gun depression is quite capable of using this. I mean, if you have more, it will obviously be better. I am pretty exposed and I'm RT safe. I mean, I could move forward, but I don't want to risk it because there with 3 RT game, any movement out of a RT safe position is fatal. Now the RL makes a crucial mistake. He tries to play the game. He moves out of an RT safe position and he gets shot by it and loses half of its HP. I put a shot into that VK 3001H and the Panzer 4H, but unfortunately my gun misses and get the shot on the ARL's turret. I know that they do have camping TDs there, so I will have to move here fast. I do out aim at the Panzer 4, and unfortunately, because my hull is soft, I do receive a hit. The T-150 takes out the VK and I can move up. I do have shots on this Churchill, and unfortunately I only track him. I do load an APCR shell, so does he. With it I don't really have a problem penning him. Unfortunately he does take out my loader. I bounced my second shot. I do spot a TOC and a Panzer 4 and a Yak Panzer 4. Unfortunately my first shot bounces on his upper hull. The second one hits and sets him on fire. I do put another one in, and those two combined with the fire is enough to take him out in 2 shots. Now I do shot the TOC too. Unfortunately my T-150 is nudging me from the back. That was an RT shell, luckily it missed. and I was about to shoot that Churchill, but unfortunately he got taken out by the SU. Now the Tok is an XP Pinata as always, and I will feed on him as much as I can. So far I have shot him 5 times and haven't received a shell from him. That will be a 6th time. He's only on 60 HP. I will permatrack because I didn't want to get shot by Arty. Another thing to note, during this battle I was on a mission to kill 3 artillery, so you will find me just ignoring any other tanks just to kill those. You can see the mobility of this tank. I mean, it's not the best in the tier, but it's certainly not a slow machine. I mean, compared to the Yak Panzer IV and the KV-1, I'm leaving them for dust, even though we left the position at the same time. I do spot one of the RT, the M41, and I do put 2 shells in him to finish him off. I did load HE for the next shot, and I do spot, and somebody spots the Hellcat, but he is not in my line of fire, so that means that I cannot shoot him, and I don't even want to deal with him. I am only interested in the RT. I do spot the AMX 13F3, the tier 6 RT, and I do have HE loaded, and unluckily my HE doesn't penetrate, and our RT splashes him, which allows me to take him out, and for the next shot I just pray that my tank will roll high enough to take him out in one shot, and luckily it does. That was a very quick game, so I think we can get into the post-battle result. And here are the post-battle results of that game. As you can see, I've managed to pick up an ace tanker with some tokens. Also, from the Battle Hero medals, I've got a Pascucci's medal, which is very nice to get, and you get it by killing 3 RT, which is extremely satisfying, and a high caliber for the amounts of damage that I did. Also in that game, which makes it even more special, is that I picked up my mission with its secondary objective, which is really nice. When we look into the team score, we can see that we did finish on top on XP by quite a far, with almost 1.5k base experience and 3000 damage done with 4 kills. And if we look into the stats, we can see that we did fire 21 shots, of those 20 hit and 18 penetrated, which showcases that this gun, when it's at a sort of close to medium range, it can work, it has to be said. In that game we did receive 7 hits, 3 penetrated and 4 bounced, which means that the armor in a way saved us a bit of HP. We blocked 400 damage with our armor. We did spot 7 vehicles and damaged 8, and of those destroyed 4, and we did 514 assistance damage. That was a very short battle, only 5.5 minutes long. Anyway guys, that was my take on the T-34-85. In my opinion, it is the best tank to learn the basics of medium tank play in World of Tanks. Hope you enjoyed this video, and bye for now.